Hey people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 54 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles adventure. Last time, we discovered that Sherlock Holmes is still alive, and frankly, that's a good thing, because could you imagine if Sherlock Holmes was revealed to have been killed by freaking Mario and Luigi knockoffs? I'm serious. We met the witness, the people who shot Holmes in trial because they were witnesses, and they are literally knockoff Mario and Luigi. And apparently, Tobias Gregson, he is apparently their long-lost brother, Skulkin. He is the legendary Sulky, the Phantom Detective. Anyways, let's get a move on. What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Zieks? That my parchment paper is kick-ass. More kick-ass than those paper packets that are present in the other games in the series. Why is it that my parchment paper is no longer valued? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windemank at all. So that's it. Just love the secret handshake.
That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Nash. We didn't. That's what I reckon. I love how happy these guys are. They're gonna get arrested anyways for shooting a man, but here they're like,
we're not getting hung for murder.
Yay! Especially Ringo. Just look how happy Ringo is. Ringo's just enjoying himself. He's above the moon. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget, attempted murder. Quarter catalog, eh, fellas? We're in for it now, bruv. But don't worry, guys. You got Sulky defending you. Sulky's not gonna let anything bad happen to you. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. If he's so great, then why does he associate himself with the Nipponese? That is like a scientist collaborating with kindergarten students. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where's he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric says who? I'm breaking your kneecaps in Von Zieks.
Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion, and CzarThwomp can't read. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are two such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court to the plan of the premises, the respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour? I'm afraid I failed to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord.
On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
That's a bit of a fry a tuck, eh, bruv?
Lady Luck loves a Skulkin. Witnesses, at the time did your trespassing begin?
Must have been just after one. Right, bruv?
Must have been, Nash. Must have been. Yeah, just gone one.
Aw, you're not even consulting Sulky on this.
In which case, minutes of all these brothers into the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Good lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade! As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quite. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfold. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel.
The photograph of Gina has been entered into the court record.
I don't believe it! It's Ginny!
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windibank.
Ah! I don't know who's speaking. Wonder if I might put in a word at this point.
Go ahead, Mr. Foreman.
Took a volley bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maywand, 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield.
Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point?
Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. Jurors number 2 and 4 would like jurors number 2 and 5 would like to have a word with you. And we all go down together. You mark my words. One for all and all for one.
The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Is that what we ought to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
In a manner of speaking, yes. That's the Garrett Squadron's position, sir. What? No! It's seriously to make a judgment here. Sash report or the court, men, on the double. His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions, too. I think you'll find the truth as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop.
I am very sorry, my four brothers. They are unlucky. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to say his or her leaning in the matter. Announce your considerate verdict to the court.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Okay, summation examination time.
It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already.
That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Ginny didn't shoot him! Windibank would have shot himself first!
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert right to a summation examination, and the defense thinks, come on already, man! Stop doing this to me! Why is it that every trial, summation examination, you just can't take definitive evidence for definitive evidence, and then what happens then? McKildon is forging evidence within the smoke cloud, and then we have it where the knives are falling from the sky, and then people are throwing things, and I don't know what's going on anymore.
Very well, the court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again! How unsurprising.
I love how Van Zieks is done with it all. Van Zieks is one of the very few normal people in the Ace Attorney universe. He's the Frank Grimes of the universe. Sorry, a little gassy.
We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready?
Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Okay, time to start. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketeen. As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out.
If I have left in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now.
Mind made up, stop! Global radio transmission, a verdict to follow, stop! In motherland, they never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent. The circumstance of this crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather coherently. The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. And in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses.
Not to mention the sprint. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the Bali trigger. How many times did I say Bali? Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh dear, Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder.
I love how my voice is just giving out with that knot.
I'm afraid I think you'll have an uphill struggle ahead of you.
But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. Which means there's more to this situation than we've been yet to see.
Agreed.
You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Just the three Skulkin brothers just standing in the back. The defense's rebuttal. Okay.
Hold it!
We'll press this one. What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere, or something like that. Ah, so sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon. A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgeries in this country aren't considered to be doctors. Oh no. Even though me and my kind are the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field, I could end you! I have created a Frankenstein monster in my basement! So, what is it that you think you've left behind? Ah, well, that's a little embarrassing to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing, went through the abdomen. But when I finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere. What? Did he? Surely not. Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, but don't you worrying, isn't it? That's what's been told me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside that fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. And if I did, I would have ended him. I'm not going to give him another malpractice suit. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter. That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure. I'm sure you need to be more sure. Okay. Okay. I don't think it's gonna be you. Okay, I'll press you.
Hold it!
Well, let's see what you have to say. What do you mean? Look at the photograph in stereo.
Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, It looks as though the pickpocket girl's about to shoot the victim, obviously.
Objection.
But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun.
All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information.
By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes?
They're part of my cult. Ooh, how did you know?
Let's call it a lucky guess.
It never gets old seeing the two prints merge into one before your very eyes. It's extraordinary. It's captivating. It's the height of modernity.
Of course.
Oh yes, I think you'll find that the stereoscope is here to stay, giving us a new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. Screw you, penicillin!
If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. Yeah, let's just start down the line. You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garadev, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this.
Ah, you're that lawyer chap. Well, there's a turn up for the books.
Yes, rather a turbulent time we had back then. And now my wife is in jail, and I've almost burned the flat down 5 times trying to make my food. Great, thank you. I almost died in another fire. Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be suggesting that therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything. Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Garadev house was the talk of the town after that business. Lodgers moved out and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies. You screwed me, asshole, and now I'm screwing you. Oh. Haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet. Bad enough that the old girl's clapped up. Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot, but not for us. That's for a dash certain. I suppose not. Course. Why is my voice rising with doing the Kazuichi voice? There could be no suggestion of being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously. Obviously, but honestly, I really wish he'd pay more attention to the trial, less to juror number 2. He needs another maid. A housemaid that won't pour scalding hot tea in his crotch.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see. Again. A maid's work is never done. Now a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pick-pursers, and crossmen, the scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. Yes, juror number 2 sets up the camps. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes? That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rant's magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Okay, now I'm imagining Sherlock in the maid's outfit. Just really, it doesn't help that we had the Sherlock and the ladies bit. Sherlock is the lady. Mr. Sholmes, a maid. Let the fan art rain from the sky. It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Minor detail, it was the 2 brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Just extremist maid. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyways. Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement. Okay, let us pit you against you.
Objection!
There we go. Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
Good lord! Counsel, explain yourself.
Oh my statement contradictory?
Contradict C-O-N.
Juror number 6, you've gotten the wrong end of the stick.
I do not have stick, I have mouse.
As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene of the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Holmes in the abdomen. I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear.
Abdomen, ABD.
Sir?
Sorry, my English is still learning.
You are telling the court you didn't hear.
Forgive me, I did not hear. Here is word abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say it in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker.
Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again?
So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before, we never done nothing. But truth is they shot detective. This is double negative.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by person who looks like criminal.
Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced.
This means, when they say we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true?
Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so...
Enough! I trust no one now!
It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir.
I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Yes, it is, Bruno. Easily.
Sorry?
With the Principal Hurley's red-handed recorder. If you compare the print that picture's dingy and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Hurry, Mr. Prosecutor!
Tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. I have to do everything in my power to keep myself from slamming my head into a desk over the sheerest idiocracy that is this examination summation. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight.
So this was taken after Hurley was shot then? As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken.
That does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print.
So, the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot a man, but they stole nothing.
It would seem so, yes.
Good.
No, not good.
You were right. I did not understood situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial.
Hey! We're done, Bruno. The balance is shifting.
Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we might just turn the situation to our favor still.
Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic printer to the bailiff to be filed as evidence.
The post-shooting photograph has been entered into the court record. Another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. And indeed we can, because we have... Come on. Him right here.
Hold it!
Okay, let's see if we can actually get some new ones. Because
Objection!
we can actually present the other one, I believe. Yes, he's going to talk about the future. How it is the future of the world. What? Okay, I am basically looking around. Okay. Let me see if I can look at the other photograph. Okay. Yeah, because I should be able to present both of these. Yeah, because I am seeing a slight shift. Okay. Okay. Yeah, just, you die for shooting Sherlock Holmes. Okay, let's check you out.
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop! Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey.
Ah! But now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electric signals. Thousands of miles of cable have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world.
Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? It makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You are well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission of the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to 4 corners of the globe. Stop. Exciting growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technical revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the Stereoscope are the height of technology. What other people? You want to fight me, lady? Because I will fight you. Yeah, I love how Stereoscope got. He's not wanting to fight. This guy was the cultist from the last case, and he's just gonna fight now. Look at him. He's ready to just roll up his sleeves and just deck her. He's just getting ready. Look at this. This is the face of a man who wants to win.
Excuse me.
Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but what? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on, I dare you. Say it to my face. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you? Huh? Well, let me show you this. I'll take one picture of you now and then another after I deck you across the face. Then I'll put the 2 pictures next to each other and I'll compare them. It'll be my showing. Absolutely, I mean, really? A machine gives you photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry, stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. And now you shall end. Your life is over. Your life is forfeit. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you'd never noticed before. What?
Have you got any prints we could look at with a stereoscope?
Absolutely. How about this print here? It should do the trick, I think.
Take that!
All right then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can! Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
Take that!
Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in Windibanks on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereoscopic images work? No, we're not doing with this tutorial again. Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the position of some objects. Then, when your brain merges the two images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were dead.
Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the two pictures that's really important.
So, what happens if you use two photographs that are exactly the same then?
No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene three-dimensionally anyways. Oh! Of course, now I see! I think the young girl has discovered the secret, and so my army grows! We shall take the Earth and make it stereoscopic! I have!
Why do we need to see cursed iris every other second? I swear, just cursed iris, cross-eyed iris can't hurt you. Cross-eyed iris. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me?
Oh, now look at these two pictures of my head. He's camera, Bruno. Go on. Can you see that there's a really obviously difference between them?
Of course there are. There are two people in the first and no people in the second.
Yes, well, yes, you can see that straight away, but now, try to look at the pictures in 3 dimensions.
Alright, I'll give it a go. So, to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the two pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill and pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Wait.
Where did you manage to see it properly, Bruno?
Ah! What's going on with these two pictures? Some of the things on the counter sort of jump out at you. Yeah, I love how Van Zieks, he doesn't cross his eyes. He just uses the stereoscope.
Yes, that's it, you see. That's the amazing power of the stereoscope.
Other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump at you like that,
I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question.
Basic principles of the stereoscope?
That's right, unbeliever. As I said before, if you try to look at the two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't really work at all. It's the slight shift in the position of certain objects that lets you see the picture three-dimensionally.
In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their position.
Yes, there must have been.
Oh, well, now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of the whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does the shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What? Me? I haven't the first idea.
You know, Bruno, it's quite simple.
It is.
It's just think of it step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means...
That means that somewhere in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zookers!
Someone tampered?
New information, so not mentioned in testimony so far.
Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems, but I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who's responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter.
Take that!
It was the witness currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers.
Wait, this does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My Facebook says Dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. But this is another lie! Is this what you're saying?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Now hold on a minute, you can't be sure of that. I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windebank to open the storeroom door. And then Van Zieks just speaks up.
Oh, no. I am not your learned friend, my learned friend. You are my learned friend, my learned friend.
In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pick purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact, worse than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. It had better not have been the stereoscopes, because the stereoscopes are pure and innocent in this world. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not be at least right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from the shady pair. Just head slam. Just cue that Ed and Eddie sound. You know, that sumo sound from the Ed and Eddie cartoons.
Can you all see now? I think you'll find the stereoscopes aren't playthings. You have seen their extraordinary potential firsthand.
Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. We return home with via Regent Street. Stop. Well, it would seem the trial has yet run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call this summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor.
And I think now would be a good time to call this episode to conclusion. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, share 2 hours that you want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.